All right, guys. People are asking me, they're reaching out, a recap of what happened yesterday in New Jersey, fighting for our religious freedom for American citizens. And New Jersey, as of now, has killed the bill. And senators were coming out and speaking on the platform in our favor. And they are realizing that it is not the government's right to dictate when, where, how moms and dads take care of their children, whether they decide to medicate them, not medicate them. They understand that education is important, but it's no place where they should set rules, laws, legislation, trying to force people to do this. Now, New Jersey was absolutely amazing. It was my first time taking part in something like this. It's funny because the New York Times came out today and said a couple hundred people showed up with signs. There was, according to the state troopers that they had there, it was about 10,000 people. Now, you can see on our Facebook page, they had drones taking pictures, and that's one side of the building. There's the assembly side and the Senate side, and we were split up all over the place, but the main pocket of people were there for about 10 hours, peacefully. That's what America was built on. And it was amazing to see people from all walks of life, doctors, lawyers, accountants, construction workers, people coming together, teachers. People took off days of work at school to be there to represent what our country is all about, and that's freedom. And what is happening now is some senators are making this a personal thing because, their egos got hit a little bit. The noise outside of this building was amazing. And here's the deal. February 5th is when this gets introduced in Connecticut. Now, I don't know if there's a way to shut it down beforehand or if our state reps will see what happened and say, you know what, we have no part in this. This Senator Testa got out on the platform and spoke to us, and he said, I can't believe we're here. I can't believe we're in a position where politicians inside are trying to dictate how we take care of our children and whether or not you want to plunge them with drugs and medications or not. It's just the reality and the intention behind it makes no sense. And this is the word on the street. People are like, how did we get to this place that we're letting this happen? And let me tell you, it's not a Democrat versus Republican thing, guys. This is America. This is your children. And if we don't stand up now and stop this thing and crush it, and I think there's got to be a way that we introduce our own bill, that this can't be popping up every session. It's what they call it when they go into session, and these guys sit in a room and they try to sell each other off, and I'll do this for you if you do this for me, and just vote yes now and I'll take care of you later. That's how these guys do it. It's just not right. And whether your kids are older now and your kids want to have grandchildren, this will affect their lives. Okay? It's also going to affect your life because of the risk factors. They're saying that they're going to start telling us all the things we need to be doing and injecting ourselves in order to be safe around our own children and family, which, forget about it. This is absolutely insane. And the one thing they entered into the bill that they thought would make it a nice bill was that these kids who decided that, there's a small percentage of families in the U.S. that are not vaccinating their kids for personal reasons. They're saying, well, you could go to private school. Okay? So if you have the money, you could pay for your kid to go to school. We'll still take your taxes out for public school. But if you have the money, if you're one of the fortunate families to actually have the money, you could pay to have your kids go to school. But they're going to put a number on the outside of the building on how many children in there are not updated on their shots. So it's almost like the Scarlet Letter. It's a bad movie, man. This is not what our country was built on. And one of my favorite pictures I took of the weekend was a Marine who was an Iraqi veteran. You could see it on our Facebook and Instagram pages. And he said, I didn't go to war protecting and fighting for my country for this, for you to tell us what to do with our... It was amazing. And that's exactly what I'm thinking about is, what have we been fighting for as a country as far as our freedom? We cannot take away our constitutional rights. This is a First Amendment constitutional right for you to practice your religious freedom and to think the way you want to think, and you can't discuss that. And in this 10,000 people, there were 10 set up with rabbis, Muslims, Christians, Catholics, all walks of life coming together saying, we need to be together on this. And the state troopers were saying, we've never seen anything like this. The head guy said he's been there for over 20 years. He's never seen this many people come together peacefully. February 5th is when it gets introduced in the state of Connecticut. So they call it the opening session at the Hartford Capitol. We want you there at 9 in the morning. And you're going to bring whistles, you're going to bring bells, you're going to bring your kids, and we're going to rock the building. So they look outside their window, and it's just not another day at work. It's going to be, we're showing up as Americans. Bring an American flag. Dress warm. They handed out, I don't know how they did this, but I could find out, but there's volunteers and there's people donating money from around the country. Hundreds of pizzas were being handed out. Soups, coffee, water, porta potties set up. This Dr. Vargas had a truck outside giving away free produce. They had a bucket to donate money, which was great, but this guy set up. Now, here's one of the biggest things. I want you to go to Nick Catone MMA. Nick Catone MMA on Instagram. This guy's a UFC fighter. And his son died within a day or two of getting his wellness visit. He went and got his shots. His wife's a pediatric nurse. And he shows up, gets his shots. The father has pictures of him. He just posted it the other day. And then hours later, the kid started disappearing and he died. And this man, it broke my freaking heart. Myself and Dr. Lucas Matlock, we went down with a group of guys, Dr. Matt Paterna, Lucas Matlock from Connecticut. We went down together to represent. We hooked up with our good friend Tim Warner and Tony Ann Sotilli and Dr. Sam Krasner, all these guys coming together and women. And we hung out. We met with this guy, Nick, and man, the guy's broken. And I don't blame him. I don't know how he keeps going, but he's obviously doing it for his family. But to find your child deceased in a crib, and it was from the shots, and then have to stand here and listen to this, to try to now force people to do this and not have a free choice is just unacceptable. So February 5th in Connecticut is when the session opens. Now, what you could do right now is go online in the state of Connecticut and find out who your local town rep is. Mine is Russ Morin. We've already met with him, had a discussion. We're educating him. Please call his office and tell him, Russ, you got to vote no, brother. Please, please keep us free of choice. Don't start telling us what to do with our children. And then find your state rep, your senator rep. Matt Lesser is the guy around Newington, Rocky Hill. Go online. There's a link. I've put it out there. I put out there a petition you can look at and you can link on, and you put your zip code and you find out who your local rep is and your state rep, and call their office, talk to them. Go meet with them. Show up with your kids and say, listen, it's not whether you want to drug your kid or not. That's your choice, but keep our freedom, because if they slip this through, what other things are they going to come after? They're going to start telling us we have to do if we want to receive other things, right? It's a slippery slope, guys, and it's cut and dry. America was built on freedom of speech, religion, expression of life, to do what you want to do. This is what we're all about. This is why we are proud to fly our colors. And one of the heartbreaking things is going there and they had a giant American flag upside down, and I wanted to go up and rip it out of their hands. But then I stopped and I asked the military guy, why is that flag upside down? And he says it's a sign of being in distress. Our country is in distress. Guys, we're in distress. We can't live under a rock anymore. I've been under a rock. I've been just living my life, being quiet, enjoying my kumbaya world. It's time to get involved. I even messaged Russ Moore and I said, brother, I don't know where you want to move up in politics. Maybe I could become our local rep. Maybe I should run for office, get involved, so I'm not just a big mouth. I'm putting in the work. I'll put in the work. I'll represent. We'll try to keep things, because you look at a lot of these guys coming into office in Jersey that were coming out and sharing. It was absolutely amazing. So February 5th, it was amazing to see 10,000 people strong. The bill got killed yesterday, but it could show up again. It's going to show up again, because now it's become about ego, about we're going to get you, we're going to win. It's all about winning. And if they just get the right guys, the wrong guys, but the guys that are voting to shut it down now, to switch over, because maybe there's something on their agenda they're going to need down the road, and if they just vote now, they'll get their vote later. That's how this stuff works. It becomes very unethical. and we want to keep it accountable, hold people accountable. Let's hold each other accountable. Let's work together on this thing. Spread the word, Connecticut. I'm asking you, please, share this with everybody you know. Call your rep, talk to them. And the issue is this: do not take away our religious freedom. Don't dictate what we're going to do with our kids. Don't be pulling our kids out of school and telling them where they can or can't go to school, because that's going to shift the entire culture of our country and everything we stand for. I appreciate you all listening here, the comments. This has been an absolutely amazing process that's woken me up personally to a whole different level. You know, when we wrote the book, Wake Up Humans, that was purely a health consciousness thing. And we've had people buying the book off Amazon that are reading it now. And a woman pulled me aside today who witnessed her sister go through a windshield at 3 years old. And then years later, she ended up in a psychiatric hospital because her body deteriorated. Well, no one told her how to make the correction. So it's all about awareness. But this has gotten bigger, guys. It's become about America. We're going to show up February 5th strong, together. People had buckets from the Home Depot they were hitting. Whistles work really well. And it's going to be full, man, until they're out of session and we fight for our freedom and get what we want. We're going to rock the Capitol. But I'm thinking, what if we could get them to throw the thing out before it happens? We could get to their consciousness and just say, listen, we're going to hold you accountable. We're going to see how you vote. And we're going to think about how we vote when you run for office next time. Because that's what it comes down to. We will see how these guys and girls all vote. It'll go up on a board. We'll take a picture of it. We'll see who's yes. We'll see who's no. And we'll see who we want to push for in office as it comes. Because that's what America was built on. So the consciousness has to be, do the right thing, guys. Do the right things, because this could actually sabotage a career. And we don't want that. Just keep America free. That's who we are. It's very simple. And Connecticut could be the first state. Imagine if you guys, here's what I'm manifesting right now. You throw the whole thing out. We're not even going to move forward with this. It doesn't make sense. We want no part of this. We see what's happening in Jersey. They're shutting it down. People are speaking up. We got a machine that's happening here for freedom. And people are coming from all over the place to fight for your freedom. So show up. I love you. And we'll see you February 5th.